Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and this is my DFS strategy video for the 2022 Mayakoba Championship. Remember, we're calling it that because the official title is way too long, and I know that joke has been beaten down throughout the industry, but it's true. It's way too long. So anyways, Mayakoba Championship. I'm going to fly through the strategy video. So if you want to see where I'll be covering, you can check the timestamps in the description below or hover over the progress bar on YouTube. You'll see them there. But what we're doing in this video is building off of what we did in the preview video. If you haven't seen that one, I'll link a video top right hand corner. So watch that one, come back to this one, you'll have a better idea, because I really want to grab two golfers and build lineups around those two golfers. I'll do a couple different combinations of duos and then build lineups around there. So again, timestamps in the description below or on YouTube's progress bar. Let's go ahead, let's get in this thing. And just to remind you guys, I am doing giveaways this week. The subscriber giveaway, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. Comment on any of my videos this week. And if we reach the goal of 275 subscribers by the end of the week, I will run this giveaway Sunday night during the review video. The comment topic down below really is, which two golfers are you going to build your lineups around? So if you want a good idea, skip to the Marquee Tee Time pairing section. Watch what I'll be talking about there. Maybe select your two golfers from there. That's all you got to do. You get a free entry into the giveaway. And these giveaways, or I should say the entries, won't go away until I call a winner. Last Sunday, we finally called a winner, but we had entries all the way dating back to the Fortinet Championship because it took a little while to get there. Hopefully this one won't take too long to hit that goal. But either way, that is how you get an entry into the giveaway for the subscriber giveaway. The second way, or the second giveaway I'm doing, prize picks. Sign up, use the promo code SweetSpot, put a minimum deposit of $20 in. You will get automatically entered into this giveaway, and your name will forever be in every giveaway that I do for this until it's called. So it's never going away. You can almost look at it, you're going to get $20 free no matter what, if you sign up using the promo code SweetSpot and put a minimum deposit of 20 in. There is a link in the description that'll get you straight there. So it's just one click, and then I think you need to fill out 5 pieces of information out, and you can sign up. And then obviously do all your payment information, whatever. But that's how you get into this giveaway. Again, basically $20 free. All right, let's get into this thing. The first thing that we're going to talk about, we're going to look at the SweetSpot rank, which I'm really excited about because I kind of I didn't allude to this. I mentioned it in the preview video. I'm now using my own recorded stats. I'm not ashamed to admit that I was pulling data from other sites. I will say this. The raw strokes gain data that I have, that does come from a site, but at least it's just from, you know, round by round data, whereas before where I was pulling it from was the PGA Tour website, and just kind of what would you call it, snapshotting whatever they had that week for strokes gain data. So if you aren't aware of how that works, it goes all the way back to the beginning of the year, and it's usually of the season. So it goes back to the beginning of the season, which this season started with the Fortinet Championship. So when the new season begins, all of that strokes gain data from what you know, if you were pulling from last year, kind of gets erased. And you can only grab it season by season. You can't grab it for longer periods of time. So finally, and I've been kind of recording this because I'm trying to build a database, I have a full year's worth of strokes gain data. I have a full year's worth of capturing round by round results. So I have full scores. So basically what I want to mention is I added 2 new columns to what I usually talk about. Rounds under 70. Now I was pulling this from PGA Tour. Now I have it myself. I also have a way more accurate number for rounds under 70 percentage. And I also have cut made percentage. So I have all of this data and I'm applying it to the score, to my SweetSpot rank. So I'm adding the 2 stats over here. Again, the closer to 100, the better. So if I were to go ahead and sort this, basically our two best golfers for made cut percentage. And again, this is all of the 2021 PGA Tour season, Guido and Christian Bezuidenhout. Now, there are far more stats in here that, you know, make up of this sweet spot score. So you can already see Christian is going to get penalized for not having that many rounds under 70, whereas Guido, not so much. And you can see Guido's rank is pretty good. It's not, you know, elite. It's not inside my top 20, but at 32nd rank, the 32nd ranked player, he's probably going to show up in a lot of my lineups that I end up building. And that's fine. For me, that is awesome because I want to capture potential. I want my golfers who I'm ranking to have the best scoring potential possible. So that is what I have added, which again, to me is extremely exciting because now I get to see with my own eyes what these stats are made of. Whereas before, if I'm pulling it from PGA Tour or wherever, I really can't. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. DraftKings average, also, that came from DraftKings website. So when you download the import sheet, or the input sheet, I should say, from DraftKings, whatever they had for fantasy points per game, that's what was making up my DK average. I shouldn't even say that. It was their scoring average. No, it was their points average. My bad. And then that's what I would include in the score. Well, now I have a full year's worth of capturing that data, where it's just raw data. This is going to be so much more accurate. So I'm excited. I'm a little scared because I don't know how the rankings are going to be. I might have to revamp this whole entire scoring system that I have. I am also not including grass stats this week because I just don't have. Unlike the other grass stats like Bermuda, Bent, Bermuda, what's the other one? Ow. POA. We haven't been on POA for a while. Those three stats I record in a separate spreadsheet that I end up pulling from, just like a database. And that's all results oriented. I don't have anything for Seashore, so we're not actually applying that here. Either way, this all gets created into a score. You can see, oh, I didn't include the filters with this. I have to take the filter off for you guys to see this. The rankings are perfect. Everything is based off of the score over here. So yeah, nothing is screwed up, I don't think. Well, it doesn't matter for you guys. I have a different spreadsheet that I basically copy and paste from, and then I add filters to this. So I guess what I should do, this is probably a smart thing to do, just so you guys aren't thinking I'm pulling a fast one on you. I know most of you guys probably don't pay attention to this, but I want to make it as legit as possible because I really hate when someone talks about something and you have no visual evidence whatsoever. So I'm going to do this for you guys. That way, now I know when this does get changed around. So if I do this and we see this, the scores change. Perfect. Either way, so if I go by ranking, I just want you guys to see how big of a difference Justin Thomas has over anybody else, over Victor Hovland and over Joaquin Niemann, which we're going to talk about, and Abraham Answer. So pretty large disparity. Like him and Hovland, pretty darn close. Let's put it this way: the 20-point difference between him and Hovland is similar to like the 20-point difference that Hovland has over Niemann. And Niemann, if we go 20 points away from that, we include what, 8 more golfers, something like that. It's definitely tighter around that 750 mark than it is up at the top. So far and away, I have Justin Thomas and Victor Hovland as my top 2 guys, which makes sense. I mean, Hovland's won here before. He's playing really well. He's been playing really well this entire year. So it's, you know, I think it's what am I trying to say? It's reflected properly. Sure, we'll go with that. Anyways, here's the ranking, top to bottom, 1 to 20. Keegan is number 20, and he's $8,300. Here's where I like this ranking a little bit better than I like the previous ranking, because again, a lot of that was fed to me through the PGA Tour, all that kind of stuff. With my own raw data, like Joaquin Niemann shoots up to 3rd on my list. And I mean, if you look at his value, so the value is taking the salary divided by his fantasy points per game. You look at that 1, he's over 1, which you want it to get as close to 1 as possible. Obviously, Justin Thomas is at 0.76. All of these other guys, 0.7, 0.8, that kind of stuff. Joaquin is at 1. So he's clearly mispriced. Obviously, clearly mispriced. Does that mean he wins this tournament? No. But $7,800 is a huge, oh gosh, I don't even know what to call it. Like it's so forgiving when you create lineups. Like Joaquin Niemann, super good golfer. And they're going to say driving accuracy matters here. Well, most of the holes you're not hitting driver off of, no matter what. No one's going to be hitting driver off of. You don't have to worry about driving accuracy for that reason. I know there's some people in the industry that are going to start, looking at this kind of thing, which is great. I mean, we should have been doing that from the beginning. But, there are so many less than driver holes. I looked at my course breakdown yesterday and saw how many, there were at least 5 holes that were less than driver. Joaquin Niemann's not going to get in trouble with those holes, so I don't. When it comes down to potential, Joaquin Niemann has a lot. And at $7,800, you can do far worse. It doesn't mean I'm going to go all in on him, but he is going to be owned in a lot of, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say owned, rostered in a ton of my lineups. So yeah, he breaks this 10K range, but most of these 10K golfers perfectly priced. That they should be up here. I want you to see something really quickly. Brooks Koepka and Billy Horschel. Now, I don't include European stats in my overall database, whatever you want to call it. So Billy Horschel, who won the BMW International or whatever it ended up being, I can't remember the tournament. That's not reflected on here. He obviously played really well over in Europe, got a victory. Brooks, we really haven't seen. Super good golfer, $10,000. Might be a little steep for how well he's been playing. I mean, again, my data for the score dates back 1 full year. So that includes all the DraftKings points that he scored, his cut made percentage, his rounds under 70, because that's a huge thing to get that bonus of all rounds under 70. Obviously, you want to get golfers who are familiar or comfortable shooting under. He's obviously an elite talent, but in this field where he's currently at $10,000, it's a bit steep. But I mean, he's got win potential. So obviously, take that. I just wanted to show you $10,000, maybe a bit overpriced. Other discrepancies that I see: Charlie Hoffman, $7,700. That's really good. Matt Jones at $7,000. That's kind of super sneaky. Chris Kirk at $6,700. These are 3 golfers that I was already thinking about playing prior to, but I really do like them this week. So all this SweetSpot rank stuff, SweetSpot score stuff goes into my Marquee Tee Time pairings. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that by now. But what I end up doing is I sort by game, looking at each group, and I have a value that I want their SweetSpot rank to collectively get under. And if it does, I'll highlight them a green color. Not this light green. This is more of like a honorable mention, which I will do later, but this dark green. So the value that I have is 88. 88 is 2/3 of 132, and that's what the field size is this week. It's a number that Guru Nick on Twitter and myself, what we came up with. I still like that to this day to use, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to filter by that color to talk about all of our Marquee Tee Time pairings. There are, I think, 6 total Marquee Tee Time pairings. And I'll say this: grab 2 golfers from here. This is where I want you guys to look to build your lineups around. Usually, especially when we have more than 4 Marquee Tee Time pairings, we see at least 2 optimal lineup golfers within the roster you see in front of you, within the Marquee Tee Time pairings. So my big rule is never pair 2 guys up in the same group. So for me, it kind of stinks because I absolutely love Justin Thomas this week and Joaquin Niemann. Both of them are paired up together. I will have some lineups because it is possible. I've seen it once over the last 58 weeks. I've seen it once where two guys from the same group were in the optimal lineup together. So it's possible. Just your odds aren't very good at it. I'm still going to play these two guys together, but it's not going to be a lot. You know, maybe if I'm creating 100 lineups, 5% of them will have a Thomas Neiman start to them, and maybe even less, maybe 4%, maybe 3%. So basically 3 or 4 lineups. But I probably will be starting from this group and branching out. So I might go like a JT, and hey, why not Matthew Wolff? Matthew Wolff is 18th ranked in my model, which I probably would not have done, you know, just by eyeballing. You know, if I was to rank these golfers, I'd probably put him like somewhere in 30th or whatever. But his scoring potential is so good that if he does have an on week where he's putting really well, he's in his irons really well, you want to play him because he's going to make birdies in bunches. Perhaps maybe I go like Neiman and Answer. That'll be a very popular Mexican lineup. Well, I'm sorry. Answer's Mexican, not Neiman. But this will probably be a really popular spot to start. Heck, for me, Hovland Neiman seems like a really good choice, or perhaps Koepka Neiman, or as the thumbnail suggests, Neiman, or not Neiman, but Koepka and Answer. I don't mind shifting around, creating lineups from here. I think this is where you want to start. So I'm not going to talk any more about the golfers you see on here. Again, I'm on a time crunch. So from here, what we're going to do is just go straight into building lineups. I went over anchor buckets yesterday. So I would highly suggest you guys, again, if you haven't seen it, I linked it earlier on in the video. Go watch that preview. See what those anchor buckets are, because when I pull up the optimizer, let me zoom in a little bit. I have already kind of preloaded all of the anchors kind of right here. They're going to be in our mins and our maxes to have the optimizer look for. So very first thing to show you guys, I already ran the optimizer once with the anchor buckets already in there. And again, the anchor buckets are making sure we select golfers from those buckets. This is the lineup that shows up. Justin Thomas, Matt Fitzpatrick, Justin Rose, Joaquin Neiman, Kevin Streelman, and Chris Kirk. Now I had this, I do have a button that can remove all of these really quickly, but I'm going to do this. I did have this open to everything. I want to show you something because the lineup that I saw was fantastic. So I'm going to open this up where there's no mins, there's no maxes. I mean, technically there is a max, but we can't go over 6. So anyways, if I run this optimizer with no conditionals whatsoever in there, Justin Thomas, Cameron Tringale, Russell Henley, Joaquin Neiman, Matt Jones, Chris Kirk. That lineup, when I first saw it, was like, yeah, sign me up. I want all of it. And it's selecting 6 last week ones, which I think if I were to go to my my anchor buckets, I think what I did for last week's, actually, I don't know if I did this. Let me double check with the minimums that I have over here. Okay, so I didn't. Something select, you know, not choosing these, but I like these golfers quite a bit, and these actually follow the buckets fairly well. So let me put back in the maxes and the mins that I had for my conditionals. I just wanted to show you that because that lineup is super juicy. I absolutely love that lineup. So if I put these back in, does everything match up? Yep. Okay, 6, 6, yeah. 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 2. Perfect. This is where it doesn't. Recent form 2s. So I'm looking at a max of 3. The recent form 2s at 20 to 40 range. To really look at a max of 3. Is that what we did? That's what I said. Max of 3. Okay, so that's fine. Either way, I like what I was just showing you there, but let's go ahead. Let's put these back on. Again, these are the anchor buckets that I am applying to my to my optimizer. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to continuously go back and forth between the optimizer and looking at our marquee tee time pairings, trying to select, you know, 2 golfers that I like, that I want to see a lineup for. So I'm going to start with Brooks and with Abraham Answer. So all I have to do, come up here, lock these guys in, see what the optimizer is going to do. 2 10K golfers, by the way. So we'll see how this pairs up. It might break it. It might say this is not possible, but it is. Answer, Koepka, Rose, Neiman, Palmer, Kirk. I'm guessing Rose, Neiman, and Kirk are going to be in a lot of these lineups. When I create lineups, I usually go down to like Chris Kirk at $6,700 and say, you know what? I'm sick of seeing Chris Kirk. I'm just going to say no. Do not select him. I'll run the optimizer again to try to find a replacement for him. And it's Thomas Dietrich, which is fantastic. This lineup is really good. Answer, Koepka, Neiman, Hoffman, Jones, Dietrich. Love it. So that's kind of the first feels with like a Koepka Answer lineup. I'll probably run this like, you know, 4 or 5 times and select my favorite 1 or 2 of them and go from there. So we did our Koepka Answer lineup. Why don't we do Finau seems like a good choice because I don't hear many people talking about Finau. Why don't we do Big Ricky and Little Ricky, as it's called in some circles? I actually, how great would it be if these guys finish first and second? That would be awesome, right? This, honestly, this isn't a group that I originally thought about. I'm just doing it for the hell of it. Wow, look at this group. I actually really like that. Finau, Wolf, Fowler, Neiman, Jones, Kirk. I mean, Jones and Kirk are going to show up a lot. Let's find replacements for those guys. As much as I like them, I just don't want to continuously see them. See what the optimizer says. What are some good replacements for those 2 guys? Henley, Rose, Palmer. Like, those are great, you know, replacements. I don't mind that. And if Neiman is going to be chalk, I think so be it, right? I mean, he's obviously super mispriced, has the super good potential. But if you didn't want that, Charlie Hoffman right underneath him is a good substitute. And that's the only thing that really changed for this one. So that's our Big Ricky, Little Ricky lineup. Let's see. What else can we do? I think we have to do a Hovland lineup, right? Why don't we do Hovland and Wolf? Get the young guns up there. I like doing this a lot too, just to see if it'll break the optimizer, because that will tell me you can't pair these guys up together or it would be unwise. Should say that. It'd be unwise to do that. So again, we see a lot of the same. Rose, Neiman, Kirk. How about we just get rid of all of them altogether? So Rose at 79. Remove him. Neiman at 78. We'll remove him. And Kirk at 67. Man, the scroll on my mouse just does not work. There you go. Let's see what the replacements are. Let's see if we can build lineups with it. And we can. And it goes to Bradley, Jones, Palmer. Yeah, I mean, so if I'm creating a core, you can best believe Neiman's in it, Palmer, Kirk, Matt Jones, Charlie Hoffman, maybe Justin Rose. Kind of iffy on Justin Rose. I don't know how I feel about that. And that would be kind of my nuclei of building my lineups. Your top end and low end, I think that's where you're going to really differentiate. So, man, I was watching a ownership podcast earlier today and heard some things that I don't know, seem like shots. Because obviously you guys know I don't care about ownership. I don't think you need to care about ownership, what other people are playing. If you're selecting winners, you're selecting winners. You're never going to select a winner based off of what other people aren't doing. Like, if you do, that is by definition by luck. Like, you're selecting golfers, you should be selecting golfers who you think are going to play to play well. But I understand there are strategies where leverage matters. I don't think in GPPs it's going to matter. You still have to hit all 6 of your golfers inside the top 10. Like, you need most of them, I should say, at least 5 of them inside the top 10 to take down a GPP easily. Outside of that, like, ownership just isn't going to get you there. It might pivot you onto a Patrick Reed like Chris Matthews did at the Masters, but he's also creating, you know, very specific core golfers and then just replacing 1 or 2. He's doing the cascade method, which that's fine. That if that's your strategy, go with that strategy. That's totally fine. But outside of that, I just, like, ownership really only works if you're in a small field event and you know, and like there's a huge money, like a lot of money on the line. If you know everyone's going to be playing Neiman, then obviously pivot to like a Charlie Hoffman, but don't pivot based off of other people playing. Pivot to somebody you know is an equal value, right? I think that's the best way to do it. And at least for me, when it comes to buckets, so if Neiman is in the same bucket as Hoffman, I know I need to play that bucket, somebody in that bucket. So I don't mind going from a Neiman to a Hoffman. That works out for me. But that's going to be my last little gasp at ownership. I'm not going to say anything more about it. I have to get going because I'm getting called to do what I need to do. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Remember, there's giveaways. Go watch the beginning of the movie or the video. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the prize picks video tomorrow. All right, bye.